Hey guys, this is Whitney and welcome back to an episode of Spastic Chatter. Spastic Chatter is a platform meant to feature those in the cerebral palsy community. I get together weekly with individuals with CP like myself to have a kind of uncensored chat, if you will, about what it's really like to live with this type of disability. And for this episode, I am very excited to introduce you to Brooke Smith. I've been following her for a while, and she always seems to have an infectious smile in all her pictures and everything. So it's nice to get introduced to her via video chat instead of pictures. She is a writer and a pageant queen. So we're going to learn more about this beauty today, and I will let Brooke introduce herself. So take it away, Brooke.
Hi, Whitney, thanks. My name is Brooke Smith, and I'm from Louisiana. I was born with spastic hemiplegia, cerebral palsy. It greatly affects my ability to talk and walk. I communicate with speaking devices, and I use a motorized wheelchair with standing features. I am married and I'm a freelance writer. I love sharing my story and inspiring others.
Awesome. So before we got on this chat, I sent Brooke a list of questions. So what we're going to do for this episode is I'm going to read the question and then Brooke is going to answer it. So let me pull the questions up. I'm not prepared. Let me pull them real fast. Okay, so the first question I asked Brooke is, I said, let's take it back to the beginning. How was your childhood growing up with a disability? You want to answer that?
My childhood was everything but ordinary. My early childhood years involved many doctor's appointments and procedures. I got my hip surgically adjusted at 9 years old. My extracurricular schedule included constant physical, occupational, and speech therapy appointments. I trained for hours on how to communicate through communication devices. I learned how to manage my high muscle tone and spasticity as I learned to do certain things such as eating or completing schoolwork. Although I had to learn how to adapt to my limitations, I never skipped a beat. I was in regular ed classes full-time. Even though I received stereotypical judgment from some students and teachers, I always joined extracurricular clubs and went to all the dances. I cheered in junior high, and I was a part of the homecoming court in 6th grade. I performed in 2 school productions at the high school. My senior year, I was crowned prom queen by my peers. If I had let every drawback get to me as a kid, I think I wouldn't be who I am today.
That's very cool. We kind of have a similar story because I was all involved in junior high and stuff like you are, and I was in a general ed classes, so I can totally relate to you, Brooke. Okay, and the second question I asked Brooke was, how old were you when you got into writing? And what's your reason for writing?
I have always loved to read and create stories. It wasn't until middle school that I really got into writing, though. One of my teachers encouraged me to submit one of my poems to be in a published poetry collection. Seeing my own work published really inspired me to become a famous writer. With not being able to communicate verbally, I always struggled with not being understood. People can hear my voice loud and clear through my writing, and I am grateful for that.
Yeah, I can totally relate to you in a sense because I love to write because it gets my voice out there, and people don't see my disability. They just read what I write, so they may not know that I have a disability unless I tell them, hey, I have cerebral palsy. So I can totally relate to you. Okay, so the third question I have, I don't stick to a schedule, so these questions are all out of whack. So how was your college experience?
I went to Southeastern Louisiana University to get a bachelor's degree in English. I will not lie. College was more difficult and exhausting than I ever expected. There were many tears and sleepless nights. I can only type with one finger, so it took me twice as long to finish assignments. Most of the time, I had 2 or 3 8-page-long papers due on the same day, so I stayed in front of a computer screen until my hand cramped up. I got through it though. I ended up graduating with a 3.2 GPA. I had the best understanding professors and sweetest peer note takers. Even though my college years were the hardest, I have become a better writer and more independent person. I am glad I went to college.
That is awesome. I don't know how you did it with writing with one finger. That is crazy to me. But again, you're used to that. You grew up. That's how you do things. So you're used to that. So kudos to you. So the fourth question was, what does a typical day in the life look like for Brooke?
Well, if I'm not running errands or meeting up with friends, I am usually working on my craft. I work from home as a freelancer writer. I contribute to several blogs and magazines. I sometimes submit short stories or poems to publications as well. Other than that, I like to work out, online shop, and watch Netflix. Once my husband gets home from work, we relax and enjoy time together.
That's awesome. Okay, so what's your favorite genre or topic to write about?
I like writing nonfiction pieces like articles discussing my personal experience of being a disabled individual. I like being able to help people like me realize that having a disability doesn't have to affect dreams or goals.
Very cool. So we're gonna change it up a bit, and we're gonna talk about your pageants. How did you get into pageants, and why did you want to get into pageants?
I wanted to meet other inspiring disabled young women, so I decided that pageants were a great outlet. I was Miss Wheelchair Louisiana 2015, and I came in 4th in the Miss Wheelchair USA pageant. In 2017, I was the ambassador for the very special Miss Louisiana pageant. Miss Wheelchair USA is a national-wide pageant, and very special Miss Louisiana pageant is statewide. I have met so many exceptional friends through the pageants. It is truly a blessing.
Yeah, for those of you watching on YouTube, you notice there's a picture of Brooke on the left-hand side, and she has even a crown and sash. That's very cool. And my next question is, what are your goals for the future?
I want to publish a book and have a family of my own by the time I'm at least 30. My ultimate goal, though, is to keep living a fulfilled life.
That's awesome. Girl, I am 30, and I'm getting there, but those are some good goals. So, what is your advice for others, Brooke?
The hardest challenges in life usually end up being your biggest achievements. So keep on believing in the impossible.
Awesome. So, do you have any last words for people?
If anybody wants to read any of my work, follow me on social media. I post all my recent pieces weekly.
Awesome. And I will link all your social media down below. for people to check you out. And again, thank you so much, Brooke, for doing this. You are, you may not know this, but your posts, like, they motivate me to sing them because you're always so happy and energetic. So thank you. That's why I wanted you on Spastic Chatter, because I knew that your voice needed to be heard. So thank you so much for doing this. And for those of you that want to be on Spastic Chatter, there is an email link in the description, or you can comment on this video. And thanks again, Brooke. And check back next week for another episode of Spastic Chatter. Thanks. Bye.